So tell us about kind of working as a model and life in the fashion world. What did you find during that period? And, what are the pressures that you find and what are the positive aspects of being in that industry? I know it's a lot of a question. But...
It is. I think because I've been in it for such a long time, I kind of feel like a bit of a veteran in it. And it's so different now to what it used to be. I kind of feel like I hit the last of what you would call the cliche modelling industry, where you would go round to castings, you would see the same faces. I would be going to like four or five castings a day. You could travel with it. I'd be in Milan, Cape Town, LA, New York, and it was and the work was plentiful. Like there was so much because there wasn't that many models. But now with social media, Instagram's kind of, I wouldn't say killed the industry, but like everyone's a model now, which is great. I think it's great to give everyone the opportunity. But at the same time, it's saturated the market. So for you to be able to be at a modelling agency and work full-time as a model, there's few people doing it. But, times change, and you have to adapt to it. That's kind of why I pushed more for like Instagram. And it's more about self-promotion now than anything. I used to have an agent that would work for me. They'd call me up and say, Paul, you're working tomorrow. Great. And then they call me up at the end of that day and they say, right, you're working tomorrow. And it was kind of like that. So you didn't really have to push for yourself. But now it's about going out, seeking brand affiliation, like deals. You've got to be taking photos for yourself. You have to be proactive with it. So it's just taken on a whole new ball game. And honestly, I'm not obsessed with it. I enjoy doing it, but for me to go out and just aimlessly take pictures for somebody to like it, potentially, I do struggle with a bit.
I think, with the fashion industry as well, it was that idea of how critical they can be and the idea of what they're aiming for in the aesthetics of the body, which might not actually be healthy for the person, and that happens on the male side as well as the female side, and people don't always think about that.
Yeah. Do you know what? When I was modelling, I used to do a lot of body stuff. So I do a lot of swimwear, underwear. I was kind of one of those guys. I was like a body guy, my agents would say. And it was a lot. I spent 5-6 days in the week. I'd go out and indulge, but I was very specific with what I ate, drinking, and it's a lot. And it had an effect on me, and it still does, but I guess in a bit of a good way, because I know that I stay healthy. But in a way, people are always trying to compare themselves. I do as well. Instagram, for instance, you look at it. When was the last time you got off Instagram and felt amazing about yourself? It's a bit of a rarity these days because you're constantly comparing. And I was kind of at the top of my game. I was in such great shape and physical shape that people have comparing themselves to me. And some people aspiring to be in shape, but probably some people felt bad about themselves because of that. I mean, look, I'm not in the shape as I used to be. And when I go on Instagram and stuff and I see it, I'm like, it doesn't make me feel great. It kind of makes me think I'm being lazy. I'm not, I just can't get back to the way I used to. And it just has a bit... modelling it certainly has an effect on you. I'd like to think that I'm not self-conscious about things, but I definitely am, I think if I truly admit it, I'm very self-aware about stuff.
Maybe self-critical,
Massively self-critical, yeah. But in my own mind, my own mind is my biggest enemy.
Exactly. You're in good shape anyway, but then you
Yeah. It's just, nothing's ever good enough for me. Mm-hmm. It's not like I look at something, and I'm do something, I'm like, oh, I can do better, and it is annoying. It's like a roller coaster of like, not negative emotions, but I'm just constantly trying to push myself.
Yeah, like a voice of that.
Yeah, I wouldn't say it's not even the voice of reason. It's like the bully.
Voice of not reason.
It's the bully in me. Yeah.